When you're looking for employment transportation, a lot of the issues, you're going to have a lot of questions that come up. What if the service is too expensive? What if there's nothing available? Am I eligible? There are a lot of questions that we all ask ourselves and the people that we're trying to help when we're looking at transportation issues. And I'm hoping today to be able to help with a few possible solutions that could help you answer a lot of these questions. In Ohio, to qualify for specialized transportation, which is the 5310 program, a county must have a coordinated plan. A coordinated plan is a locally developed human service transportation plan that is there to identify the community resources for transportation and mobility, understand the gaps and unmet needs of the community. The federal law requires that these plans to be developed and approved through a process that includes participation with seniors, individuals with disabilities, representatives of the public, private, and nonprofit transportation, and human services providers and other members of the public. This plan is a very complex but very useful bundle of information. It goes into the demographics about the county, it goes into the unmet needs and the barriers in transportation, but it also outlines solutions and goals that are outlined around those problems. And then primarily right in the middle of that plan, if you're looking for transportation providers in your county, there is a full section that is a full assessment of transportation providers that are listed in that area. They are all either private, nonprofit, public. Anyone who's providing transportation should be listed on that coordinated plan. If you're looking for what resources are available in your county and you're trying to help out an individual, going to your coordinated plan is probably a really good way to start and just get a full assessment. There might be transportation providers you didn't know about. There might be some that you did, and it goes into even more detail as far as what the cost might look like, whether they're open to the public or if it's just private only, what types of vehicles they have. If you're looking to help an individual that is in a wheelchair and you're looking for providers that only have accessible vehicles, these tables in this coordinated plan can narrow that down for you. Now, to find a coordinated plan, best place to go would be the Office of Transit website on the ODOT website. On this screen, I'll just show you a demonstration. If you look over to the left, there's a red arrow, and if you click on Coordinated Transportation Plans, it'll pull up the next screen. It'll have my contact information, and I will mention this again. If you have any problems finding your county coordinated plan or any problems at all, please feel free to contact me. I will look that up for you. I will get you information, just so if you're not able to find that information on your own, don't hesitate to contact me. Now, when you're on this page, if you scroll all the way down, you can see per county what the coordinated plans are, and you can click on that and download the PDF. Now, I mentioned a while back about the large MPO areas, and this is one of the reasons why I mentioned that, because if you're looking in the Cleveland area, or if you're in Cincinnati and you're looking for the coordinated plan, you're not going to really find that here because ODOT primarily gathers all of this data for the rural and small urban areas. However, we do have links to the large MPOs where they have their coordinated plan on their website. Therefore, if you're looking for one of those, you can find it on our website. I just wanted to give you a heads up that it will give you a connector that will go to the MPO website, and then you can get the most current copy of their coordinated plan. And this is just one example of a coordinated plan here in Franklin County, Franklin and Delaware. On the left, you'll see the assessment of available services, and it starts with Delaware County, naming off the Alpha Group, agency name, and then it goes into their hours of service and what type of transportation that they provide. On the right, you'll see a table of agency characteristics, and there are tables upon tables of different sets of data, whether it might be what kind of technology that they use, or it just might be other information, how they're funded. All of that information is in here. And I would like to encourage you, if you are not already, to be involved in your local coordinated plans. Like I said, it is required that the public participates in these meetings, and especially persons with disabilities and seniors. It's very vital to have your voice at the table. So definitely, I encourage everyone to participate in these meetings if possible. To find out how to get involved or even get information about your local coordinated plan, you can contact your local mobility manager. If you do not have a mobility manager, your county lead agency is also a person that you can contact. On the very first page of your coordinated plan, on the very bottom, there is contact information, whether it's your mobility manager or the lead agency. So if you're not sure, just go to your county coordinated plan and look on the first page, and that'll have that person's individual contact information. And if all else fails, of course, please contact myself, Olivia Hook, at ODOT. Another resource I would like to share with you would be the Mobility Management Program. The mobility management program, unlike all of the other programs I had talked about with the Office of Transit, is just a little unique. This is the program I was talking about that is person-centered. Now, mobility managers are there to start that coordination conversation with individuals and communicating that also with local stakeholders and transportation providers. They're there to be there for the individuals and to help them understand what transportation options are available, help them with learning how to use that transportation service, and if that transportation service isn't meeting their needs, to be able to communicate that with everyone who needs to know, whether that's stakeholders or government or funders, transportation providers. Mobility managers are the go-between between the individuals and all of the decision makers. Mobility managers are the local resource for all things transportation. They provide travel training for individuals. They do coordination of transportation services to meet customer needs. If it's not available, maybe that mobility manager can have a conversation and see if that's something that they can accommodate or the transportation system can accommodate. It's always worth having a conversation with the mobility manager. The mobility manager also helps customers understand eligibility options. Maybe there's a local program that offers discounted rates for someone who just got a job. I mean, just for an example. There are a lot of things that go on in local communities that we can share that information, and a lot of times the mobility managers have that information. The mobility managers are there to find the right fit solution for customers. The mobility management program is available to everyone. It doesn't cost anything. That is just an extra resource that's available to you on a local level. Not every county has a mobility manager. If you look at this map, you'll see there's a lot of areas that don't have a mobility manager. This changes from year to year as the mobility management program is a program that's applied to on an annual basis. Next year, you're going to see a map with different counties lit up because we have some new counties that are interested in applying for the mobility management program. If you don't have a mobility manager, I would highly recommend that you go to your coordinated plan and contact your lead agency and participate in the process of the coordinated plan. If you're looking to have a mobility manager, first of all, there are eligibility requirements. You can find that on our website. And if you would like to start that conversation with me, I would highly encourage you to reach out to myself and I can walk you through that process. Also, if you are in a county that does not have a coordinated plan, I would highly encourage you to reach out to a neighboring mobility manager. For example, if you are in Madison County, you could reach out to Mika Rhodes, who is just south of Madison County, and I'm sure Mika would be more than happy to help out. There's a lot of resources that she has that do go across county lines, things that she knows about that might involve that county that she could probably provide an insight for, just to start that conversation and see if she can provide any kind of assistance. Another resource that is available is GoHio Commute. That's GoHio Commute. And that is a commute platform that's, it can be 100% mobile. And basically, it's a platform where if you create a login, it creates a profile for you that if you wanted to open up your profile for a potential commute option, it matches you with other potential commuters who also signed up for a profile. That's something that is in the state of Ohio as a service, and I highly encourage anyone who's trying to find commute options to utilize that. The three things I would like to wrap up this part of the ODOT part of this presentation would be a few resources I would like to leave you with. First would be the GoHio Commute platform. Second, the major reference of the coordinated plans. Go to your coordinated plans if you're trying to find a full assessment of what your available services are in your county. That would be the place to go. And the final thing would be to reach out to your local mobility managers or your neighboring mobility managers for assistance to help you try to find these transportation solutions.